Next Dorset here. I thought I'd try and bring you an interesting video today. So the topic I want to speak about is communications and resilience of communications. Now, what that means is it's not doomsday or disaster or anything like that, but I just want you guys to think for a minute. If the power went out and all normal forms of communication went down, how would you communicate with people around you in maybe your town, your village or your sort of county? And then how would you also speak to people further afield, find out what's going on, elsewhere? Now, like I said before, picture all the internet's gone down, your mobile phones have gone down, and there's no communication. Say there's been a storm and it's wiped out communications in your area. What would be your way of communicating? Now, for me, obviously, licensed ham, I would get a simple setup, maybe VHF, UHF. I would stick a mag mount on the roof of the car, which is what I've done tonight. And I'd go up to my local high ground and I would probably put out a few CQ calls, wait until someone comes back to me, and then, change frequency and ask them where they are, ask them what they know, what information they've got. And, chances are I might get a few other people pop in as well and sharing what information they know. And it's just for resilience of it, because amateur radio doesn't require any internet or anything like that to work. It doesn't even need mains power. You can run off battery power from your car. I've got a secondary leisure battery which I use for my setup, or you could just be on a handheld. It all depends what you've got. And I think the beauty of it is as well for the average person is you don't even need to be a licensed ham to know what's going on. Anybody can pick up a cheap Baofeng or a Quansheng or one of these Chinese little handheld radios, go to their local high ground, tune in on the calling channel or have a scan around, see if you can hear anyone talking, and just take a listen. You've only got to be licensed if you want to transmit and talk to others. But 9 times out of 10, there will already be hams out there doing that in those scenarios. So all you got to do is scan around and have a listen to what's going on around. So what I'm going to do is, I think that's enough talking now. I'm gonna swing the camera around and I'm going to show you the setup I'm using and try and make a contact as well. Now, time is getting on a little bit, so I'm not sure how many people are going to be on, but we'll put a few CQ calls out and see if anyone comes back to us. Okay, so the setup I've got tonight, I know not everyone's going to have one of these. It's the ICOM IC7100. Absolutely fantastic radio. I did do an unboxing on this one. But like I say, you can do it with anything dual band, VHF, UHF, or even HF if you've got access to that equipment. But yeah, like I say, VHF, UHF will be your most common form of communications. I think that's what most people have. So, in the case of VHF, obviously the calling channel is 145500, and we'll just put a few calls out, and see if anyone comes back to us. Okay, M7 DVX portable calling CQ. Now, you might not always get someone come back to you. First try. M7 DVX portable.
Hello, how are you doing? You're not really strong.
Yeah, just on the magma antenna on the car tonight. I haven't got the mast up.
Right. Yeah, G7KTE. I'm just a few...
Here you go, guys. So you can see quite quickly someone's come back to me. And if this was a disaster situation or an emergency, you could quite easily make contacts and find out what's going on. Okay, so hopefully you can see there how quickly somebody actually came back to the CQ call. I think I maybe called it once or twice and somebody came straight back. And I think that's where, amateur radio really shines, is you've got a good group of people. And it's a network of people as well. Everyone's really friendly, everyone's excited to have a chat, conversation, work new people for the first time. And I just think it's really nice, you know, you're not relying on subscriptions, you know, it's not a paid for service, you know, you can come on anytime you want, use it as much as you want. And I think that's why, you know, if the grid goes down or there's storms or something, you know, it's a very good, useful skill to have. And I think even if you're an amateur radio and you've not gone portable, you've not done it much, my question to you would be why? Because I go portable all the time when I go out, and I absolutely love it. Some of the best contact I've ever made have been portable, and there's just something about it as well, which I think is quite nice. But obviously, like I say, I go on my local high ground, and yeah, obviously high ground is very important for making these contacts. The higher up you go, the further you go. Theoretically, they say height is might. And obviously the higher up you go, the less obstructions you've got, the more chance of getting out you have. The contact I made there, I believe, was down in Brixham, and I'm located just outside of Dorchester, so it gives you an idea of the sort of range I'm making on these contacts with very simple setups. You know, it's only a mag mount on the roof, and yeah, it's quite effective, as you can see. I know he said my power's down. Normally I've got a white stick antenna, this one here. Normally I'll put that up, but tonight I just thought I'd go simple. Just stick with a mag mount on the roof and make a contact. Like I say, I appreciate not everyone's going to have an ICOM 7100 like myself. But just with some simple kit, you know, you can still make contacts, and at a reasonable distance if you've got some height behind you as well. So I think that's it for me today, guys. Obviously, DX Dorset here. And I just wanted to talk about communications and resilience. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. And I hope maybe it's inspired some of you guys to get on and maybe do a bit more portable, or to potentially get yourself a radio and start listening. And hopefully some people to become amateur radioists as well. And get on the airs and start making contacts. Brilliant hobby, brilliant people. 7 threes, everyone.